To round out our High Seas series for Project Blue, we obviously have to cover Puffin. Puffin feels like she is the most disadvantaged from the deck constraints of Project Blue. A lot of her power comes from the fact that she has access to the Cogworks arms as well as Crown of Dominion, and obviously Poly as well. She feels like she's pretty based around the fact that she has access to both gold generation, cog generation, and cranking, all available on her start and play, stay and play equipment suite. You do not get access to any of that in Project Blue. So I think she has the most traction to gain. And I think if you were interested in playing a competitive mech, I can put a Dio list out on the channel. Dio definitely feels like she has potentially the chops to compete in the format, but it's very possible Puffin does as well, because she will still get access to being able to draw a card for the turn. Instead of a pirate-based list, I think you may want to lean into some of the boost elements of the deck. You'll get access to Throttle, 0 to 60, and Zipper Hit, and I really don't think a whole lot of the pirate rares are really exactly what you want for the deck. They do help with gold generation, but they feel pretty tied to, for instance, like Gravy Bones. He gets a lot of benefit from getting those blues. I don't really think that Puffin gets the same thing. And while a Puffin list in CC, that's when the pirate cards will get a lot of benefit from things like Rum giving Cerebellum Processor Go Again, Conquer the High Seas, Sink and Fate, CNC. You don't get any of that in Project Blue, so I don't really think I see a need to play like a generic base list, but if anyone has a list that is working, feel free to let me know. But to run through everything, we do get the Rainbow Suite of Cogworks Zeppelin. This card is fantastic. If you have a cog, you'll get to tap it, make a new one, and then you have the option to crank it, regaining your action point. We're running a pistol because I'm just not really sure how often we're going to have cogs on the table. If cogs are on the table a lot, I think you probably could play Spitfire, and just like you would in the CC list, but I am a little bit skeptical. So this still curves pretty well, right? Like if you pitch a blue and send Throttle, you'll have the one left over anyway for it. Not to mention with something like Zeppelin, you can play it, float one, use your action point from your new cog and descend the pistol anyway. We're running 6 copper cogs. I think that you still need a good density of these, especially since we don't have access to like Poly or the arms or the headpiece. Like you're gonna need to crank, and you're gonna need cogs in the deck. Cool card we do get to run this format as Wage Gold, just as a 3 for 7 with Universal, so you're able to boost this and it doesn't hurt your turn. But you can Wage Gold on this to help us out a little bit with that problem. Rest of the deck is just fairly explosive aggro. You probably have seen these cards before. We have Boom Grenade just as a way to push more damage. Backup Protocol recurs good cards and cranks for us. Soup Up is really good when we lose our cogs, 0 for 4 Go Again, or 0 for 4 blocking on defense. We have Sprocket Rocket as a way to just banish the cogs or any of these other items and just occasionally get another 0 for 4. Our sideboard is a little sporadic, to be honest, but we have Payload and Convention Amplifier. Dominate can begin to slower decks, and this will help us set up Boom Grenades, right? Into a slower deck, you can set up a Boom Grenade, and then on the next turn, set up a Dominate to help that connect. Dissolving Shield can be really good against go-wide decks, or maybe like a deck like Wizard, where you don't really want to be pitching to Arcane Barrier if you can, or you want to bank extra protection against like a larger setup style deck. It also cranks as well, which isn't bad. And then Firewall is, you can make this decision, right? If perhaps you are going first against an aggro deck, but you still want to play your boost package. That means you're inherently going to be on the defensive because the aggro player will have tempo starting the game. So if you want to side in Firewall, if you're going first, maybe when they come out swinging with their turn, you'll have a Firewall in hand and you'll be able to at least capitalize on having an above rate blocking card for their turn before a climb back on your own turn as well. We have some Arcane Barrier, but AB3 with the Achilles accelerators. Although I think you're going to want Unicycle for most matchups, and then we're mainly displaying good blocking equipments everywhere else. Not a whole lot of other synergy pieces going on here. Let's jump into a game so you can see how this deck works. All right, so here we are playing against Ira. We get pretty terrible hand going second, but we do at least get to draw a card off of Puffin. We'll have Devil Crank off the backup protocols. And then if we draw a blue at any point, we could crank these and just, potentially turn on both soup ups in the same turn. So actually, if we draw a blue, I mean, these could potentially end up being pretty solid, but I'm not going to hold my breath here. Something tells me we may just be sending 4 and passing. We get probably the worst possible draw in the deck. We could activate the backer protocol, at least like one of them. We can at least do the same thing 2 turns in a row. We can go block 1 on the first Kodachi, block 2 with the guard well. Our turn's gonna be playing both cogs, cranking them, drawing a new card, playing rocket 0 to 60, soup up. We even could actually use one of the cogs to activate the backup protocol red, but the fact that we just don't have access to any sort of secondary crank on the turn is just really punishing for this deck. 5 is tough. We do have the option to block this out, actually. We could give 2 cards here and just not send 3 on our turn. We do lose the armor for future use. We do get 1 block left on the helm. I guess I kind of like this because, I mean, there is a chance that they could convert the other 2 cards. We kind of force into IP, I guess. But there's a lot of factors we don't know. Still think if we want to use the soup up, I think it's just incorrect, unfortunately. I think we just need to draw on our turn. So far, been kind of a mess. Draw sequence has been pretty terrible. We need to get cogs out. Then we probably need to draw like a Zeppelin or something. Blue soup up is awful, to be frank. Really not what we want. We can put in an arsenal. It's also valid that we could just sandbag this in hand. We'll go ahead and send 4. We'll boost. We lose a Zeppelin. That's unfortunate because, yeah, the Zeppelin would probably be our preferred draw to set it up with the leftover cogs. We really need to find one very, very shortly, or else we are in trouble. Locking out is interesting here. We can send the soup up for 2. There's really no benefit in holding in an arsenal. The game very well could, for some reason, be over by the time that these cogs break. And then we might as well convert our pistol into damage this turn. So we are keeping note here. Spitfire would be online this turn, and we would get 3 damage, although there's a lot of turns where Spitfire would not be online because we have less access to cog generation in this deck compared to NCC. A pretty good hand. This curves out pretty nicely, so I think we're just going to no block our opponent. We really don't have much of an option. 2 of our cards don't block at all. Our opponent's going to get their pop-off turn with... Alright, 2 Nimbalisms. Probably going to break bracers here. Yep. Definitely interesting. It's going to be 11. They'll steal a cog. It's not a problem. Yeah, we have to just say no blocks here. Alright, using IR for a resource is interesting. Okay, it's using it for 2 damage. Nice thing is that at least our throttle gets to actually demand 2 cards from them. We'll get the cog back. It doesn't do anything, unfortunately, for us, which is pretty terrible. We really needed the Zeppelin. Okay, of course, the Zeppelin is the next card in the deck. This deck is very punishing. Oh wait, sorry, we were supposed to play the Boom Grenade first and crank it. So we'll go Rocket, we'll boost. We were hoping to hit 4 to try to rip 2 cards from them before sending the throttle. But unfortunately, we did not get that, so we're all out of luck. We could actually crank the cog this turn. There's a chance that we whiff. Oh, that's tough. I kind of think there's really no reason to, unfortunately, though. Because if we think about it, if we draw a blue, we're in the exact same situation. I guess the only thing though is that we get a new cog for next turn. So maybe that's okay. That's a hard call. We may end up having to break the chest though if we draw another red. That'll be a problem for sure. But I guess we have to risk it in this position. Okay. Well, actually, no, this one's better. This is actually pretty solid. So we actually did get bailed out a little bit, deciding to go with that line there. We're currently presenting lethal. Because we have 3 damage on board, so this is 9. But then we also have the boom grenade on hit still live as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll tap. Kind of confused why it won't let us use our 3rd activation. But I guess maybe it doesn't matter. Coming in for 3, we're just gonna have a nice clean block with the throttle. Getting the turbine would have been nice. But unfortunately, we are not in that position. If we had a blue, things could definitely be different. We'll go ahead and crank the boom grenade, at least present a lethal attack our opponent has to respect here. Opponent does have to block with 2 cards on this. Now we do have the option to load the pistol, send it for 2, or arsenal the turbine. I don't know how much more crank we have left in the deck, honestly, so I think we're just going to use the pistol here. Not thrilled about it, but we're here. I think he's just gonna curve out into it regardless, so. All this is pretty self-explanatory. The main question though is just whether or not we want to block with the Zeppelin here or not. We're really kind of out of cards. But sending 5 is pretty solid here. I mean, if we send 5 into 5, don't really think they get to keep a whole lot of cards. They might demand 1 card from us on the follow-up, but losing the turbine does suck though. That's for sure. And my hope is that the hand is all 2 blocks. I mean, there is a chance here. Look at the deck construction. There's probably more nimbleisms left. There's a second 100 win somewhere. There should be another cut through. So, I mean, there's a chance we could get lucky here. Rip a bunch of cards. Going to 2, yeah, we're just gonna rip the last remaining 2 cards then. They'll get 1 card from us, then we'll get a 3-card hand. So it's definitely not bad. We played. It's probably the reinforce, yeah. I mean, that's still solid. We actually kind of rewarded there. Only a Kadachi for once. We actually get to keep this entire hand. I think we might have the game here, if the math seems correct, but I'm pretty sure we got it. Because we'll get to go... Well, let me think really quick. Try to figure out the exact math on this line. So I want to say... It's very marginal. I think we probably should keep the throttle in the deck though. So we're going to send the 0 to 60 and then just pistol on this turn. Another line we could take though would be going zipper hit 0 to 60 throttle. I think either one, if there's a single 2 block in this hand, gets lethal. But I kind of like keeping the blue throttle around for a potential endgame. Okay, so the single 2 block, pretty sure we have the game closed out here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll boost the red 0 to 60. And we'll go blue 0 to 60, pistol, game's over. But so you can probably see how this deck has some trouble specifically using the hero power sometimes, but more importantly, probably the card pool. And you don't get to play any of the pirate cards, but this is, like I said, just but this is mainly just a way to cover all the individual heroes so that you can try playing them and then maybe moving into a different hero, potentially if you want something a little bit more competitively viable. Because like I said, I think Dio probably executes this game plan just a little bit better, just getting access to being able to play off the top of the deck, and then getting Symbiosis Shot as her specialization. Seems like a lot of Puffin's cards really shine in CC, and they maybe come up a little bit short in Project Blue. I want to at least put this out here for people so that you can just try it out for yourself and then do your own deck building. Until next time, thank you for watching.